thank you all for taking time out from your busy schedules to help us enjoy celebrating a retirement and a farewell for Gabrielle and myself as we end our careers, working careers in USAR. Special thanks to Carrie Costa for putting all this together and organizing it. Appreciate it. Really good. Well done. Could have, if we have ordered this weather, if we would have ordered this weather, it would have rained. But I'm glad we didn't. So, es freut uns richtig, dass Sie alle hier gekommen sind, mit uns zu feiern. Unser Auf Wiedersehen. I started my career in 1974, Frankfurt, Germany. 18 years old, right out of boot camp, Fort Knox. Hit Frankfurt, the Rhine-Main Air Base. 21st AG was downtown. We bussed downtown. I spent a week down there, and they said, well, you're going to go to Turkey for a year. So I spent a year in Turkey, Çakmaklı, 528th Field Artillery Detachment. 1 year was enough of that. Anyway, I've had several years in U.S. Army Europe, been a member of the team here. I did spend almost 5 years down in Stuttgart in an aviation battalion, 394th Aviation. Great unit under 7th Corps, 2nd Subcom, Nillingen. Ostfildern no longer exists like a lot of our installations over here. You know, back in the 80s we had a couple 100,000 soldiers. We had another 100,000 civilians. You went to RB, which was Robinson Barracks, downtown Stuttgart, and it was like a zoo. I mean, you couldn't hardly walk through the stores, it was so crowded. Back in those days, Reforger, Fulda Gap, Doughboy City up in Berlin, that was the name of the game. Hohenfels, Grafenwehr, all training, big time. Iron Curtain, you know, the wall, the DDR, the Ostmark, Westmark. Great times, exciting times, a lot of activity on the plate. Then I did a year at Fort Hood and came back a year later, 1988. This tour started in 1988 as a 2-year tour. So I guess it's coming to an end here. Quite a few years later. I was very fortunate to have stayed this long in Germany, though. You know, I came over as a soldier out of Fort Hood, Campbell Barracks in Heidelberg. Spent 24 years in Heidelberg. Great town. That's where I met Gabriella. We got married. You know, it was home. Until the shift changes, the wall fell, you know, installations closed, the drawdown. Hey, we're moving the headquarters to Wiesbaden. You know, this was even after I had, before I even retired from the Army, that was already talked about back in, you know, the early 90s. So, you know, I also did, my last 7 years in the Army, I worked with NATO. And so I also did a year in Sarajevo, which was very interesting times. 1996 we went in as I-4, the implementation force, and then, you know, the stabilization force, and we're still there. Back then Bootmere was a minefield. It's now the headquarters for the U.S. Army, for the NATO element down there, or was. They may have closed it now. So then we moved up to Wiesbaden. After I had retired from the Army, then, okay, Gabriella then retired. We moved to Wiesbaden in late 2012, so almost 4 years up here, and it's a very beautiful area. Enjoyed it greatly. I'm just really fortunate that I've been able to stay over here so many years. I have over 20 years military, retired, and another, you know, 16 and a half civilian. So I've got like 30, just under 40 years in U.S. Army Europe as a part of the team. So it's really, as I see tonight, coming to affect me that, hey, your time is getting short. But it has been a great ride. There's not much that I have not done over here that I didn't want to do. I've been everywhere. These guys have hunted with me, I've hunted with them, I've worked with a great group of folks, Central Taxing Branch. I couldn't have asked for a better team to work with than you guys. They've really been supportive, backed me up. Rick, Ed, Carrie, you guys are great. Love you all. My time is drawing down, but I just want you to know I do appreciate this. Is really fantastic. I didn't expect quite an event like this tonight, but I do appreciate it. And I guess I'll end my final notes with that. Vielen Dank für alles und hoffentlich auf Wiedersehen.
Hopefully not.
Tom's actual retirement ceremony is on the 30th of September in the COA. Yeah, what, 1400?
In the basement.
Or in the basement, yeah.
In the basement.
In the basement. At 1400? At the time.
14, 16, something like that. We'll send out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 September is my official retirement date, and we'll plan to fly 1st of October back to Michigan. We're going to go back to Michigan. We got a nice place we bought there, and so if you ever get up in that area, you know, look us up.
Pull up in our snow. We'll see you in Heidelberg in 2 years. Call Gabriella.
So I'd like to iterate it too. Thanks, Gary, for putting this all together. Thanks also to Mike Martin, who's not here tonight. Karen had an operation this morning, and I talked to him twice, and she's doing well. She's bossing him around, so you know she's good to go. And Paul also for getting the plaque and helping with that. Ed for getting the gag gifts, and everybody else for contributing and showing up tonight. So thank you for coming.
And thanks for Don for paying for the drinks.